This forest supports the River Avon in West Lothian, and although the forest is greatly reduced since olden times, this part of the forest is steeped in legend. Legend of William Wallace, our freedom fighter, and in many cases Scotland's son. There is reputedly, now this is just legend, but there is reputedly a cave here, or not so much Wallace's cave, but it's known as Wallace's Arch. And by legend and reputation, this is where William Wallace and some of his men who were wounded and who had managed to flee the battlefield of Falkirk in 1298, where they were soundly defeated by King Edward I of England, and amid some treachery in the Scottish camp. Legend says that he came here, and it's a place that is revered by Wallaceites, fans of William Wallace, and those with a deep interest in Wallace history. Now, the cave is a natural geological feature. Fabulous place. It's been about 3 years since I was last here, and it was very wet, windy, just a horrid day. So it's nice to be back here again. Wallace certainly had associations out with the Battle of Falkirk, with the area. Turfickan Priory is only a couple of miles up the road, where Wallace visited and sent letters. There is very little facts or details that we have on the life of William Wallace. So we must go by legend and what legend gives us. Legends spring from truths, half-truths, and sometimes no truth at all. They're entirely made up. But Wallace would have had, when he fled the battlefield of Falkirk, the English would have been hot on his tail. This is a man with a price on his head. They would needed to have sought cover and go where horses could not follow, and where it would be dangerous for English patrols perhaps to follow in case they were ambushed. And in deep forest and woodland such as this, where there are natural geological caves and protective havens that would have been made use of, it's very feasible there is at least a half-truth that William Wallace and the broken men of Falkirk were here. So here we are approaching, it's actually a phenomenal geographical feature. It's beautiful. I love this piece of rock. And people have been coming here since the very first time I came here, when I was much, much younger, to pay their respects and leave some sort of mementos. It's always been held as a sacred place in the legend of William Wallace. And also in other poor souls who had lost their own at Falkirk and who were perhaps badly wounded here. And they were licking their wounds, contemplating their loss, dejected, disconsolate, and looking to their leader for what hopes lay with the road ahead. It's certainly a solemn place when you think on these terms, when you think of what may have taken place here, of what the mood was. Falkirk was a devastating blow in 1298 for the Scots army, and fingers have been pointed in many an area, at the Commons, at the Bruces. But it would see Wallace was a shooting star. Falkirk would see his downfall. He would never politically recover from that. But one thing's for sure, the Wallace legend looms large in the eyes of Scots people, and it will do forevermore. In this place, although we only have legend, mostly legend, to reach out, touch and feel and visit places like this, I do think, this is my own personal opinion, that there is a substance of truth to this place. It also gives us an aftermath of Falkirk. Falkirk is something that I would like to spend a couple of days doing a project filming on the battle in 1298. That's certainly in my plans, but this gives us an aftermath. It gives us a sense of place of that aftermath and of the loss, and it gives us a place that we can go visit and, most importantly, feel. Thank you for walking in the footsteps with me.